Well, hello, hello. My name is Emily, as you may or may not know, and do you come here often? I hope so. Today's clickbait title, first of all, if you cannot already tell, today it's a classic yapping video, all right? I haven't done a yapping video, like a classic one, in honestly, I wanna say about 2 months. And I kind of knew that I wasn't gonna be doing one for a while, which is why the last time I did some yapping videos, you got a twofer on the tin roofer, right? But today's clickbait title, I do need to credit Jazzy, Jazzy7854 commented on my last video because I asked you guys, what should the title of my next video be? They said, I think your next clickbait title should sound like a straight man gaslighting someone. Something like, I guess I'm not good enough for you, huh? So the title is going to be along those lines. Now time to pose for the thumbnail. All right, I need to revisit a time that I didn't feel good enough for someone. In 8th grade, I famously got cut from the basketball team, in which then prompted one of my friends to tell me that it was okay because God still had a plan for me. That seems fine, right? Oh, so today I went to the Japanese market. The amount of sugar and sodium I'm about to consume in the next 2 hours. Holy freaking guacamole. And I just bought a bunch of stuff. I have a soda and an ice cream bar in the fridge right now, but I have a bunch of snacks and I just thought, you know, why don't we just sit on the floor in true Japanese fashion and just like talk and eat some of these snacks? Well, I will be eating some of the snacks. And I hope you guys are, you know, if you have a snack, if you have something in the back of your cupboard that is, even if it's like stale, might have some like ants or roaches on it, that's okay. You can still eat it. I used to be a healthcare provider, so you can trust me. But okay, haul. First thing I bought, this is not Japanese. You can get this at Rite Aid or, what is that woman? Duane Reade? Duane Reade, or CVS. However, this is definitely Japanese. I've been seeing these around. No one on TikTok has really been talking about it or anything, which must mean it's bad. It's like a strips. It kind of looks like those like sour airhead strips thing. I got a grape flavor, and then I got 88 so hot chili lime flavor tteokbokki snack. I'm excited for this. I feel like this could either be really, really good or really bad. And then I also got these hazelnut cookie things, which is interesting because this also does not look Japanese, but it was in there. So I feel like this will be good. And then this, I got some pineapple flavor pastries. I really love pineapple mooncakes, and this isn't a mooncake, but it's close enough. But the first thing that I have written down, let's see. Like we've already established, this is a very long list, so I'm gonna try and go towards the middle. All right, so I wrote down, me doing squats to get a butt kind of feels like rounding up to donate. In the grand scheme of things, this probably isn't going to help, but the sentiment is still there. Yeah, there was a point in time where I was, I don't even wanna say like hyper fixated, because I think in the back of my mind, I knew I was a little bit in over my head, but I got the protein powder. I was doing those videos where it was like, what's that girl's name? Like Chloe Ting Booty Butt Blaster, or you know, whatever. That makes it sound like a sex thing. It wasn't. But the thing is, if you want to gain muscle, especially in the southern region, the southern posterior, oh my gosh, I almost just sprayed mango skin all over you guys. The southern posterior, most people want to gain it back there, not necessarily. I don't think anyone goes to the gym and is like, I'm trying to work out my fupa. Anyways, I would be going to the gym. I would be doing those booty blaster videos. And, well, Let's just say that if you were to take a before and after photo of me in the midst of my quote unquote workout journey, the two pictures, you could have told someone that they were taken on the same day and they would have believed you. You know what I mean? It really didn't make any difference, because the thing is about the gym is that and I understand why gym rats make it their whole personality, because it takes over your whole life like a goddamn parasite directed by Bong Joon-ho. And even though during that time when I was hyperfixated on getting a butt, I was taking the protein powder and stuff like that, it kind of seems to me that you still have to, you can be taking the protein powder, but you also have to down like 4 eggs and like an entire chicken breast as well if you actually want to see any improvements. And it's like, you know, do I want to have a bigger butt, or do I want to enjoy my life? You know what I mean? I'm gonna go with the latter. This one says, we need to start treating humans like dogs, where you're still quite nice to the ugly ones. Yeah, I agree with that. I don't remember writing it, but I do agree. Because honestly, you could have, you know, one of those dogs with a cleft palate, and they also kind of look like, you know, the tops of their head sort of look like those troll dolls, and it's a little bit like messed up and matted, and they kind of look like this. Right? Sorry, I was checking the viewfinder to check for biblical accuracy. And still, like, comments on the post will be like, oh, sweet angel, like, he deserves the world, oh my god, I need to get a pepperoni in his gob right freaking now. And that's not to say that those things aren't true, because that little dog does deserve the best. But then you have a woman who, like, her eyes are a little bit too far apart and people are telling her to kill herself. You know what I mean? Can we level out the playing field a little bit? And it's the same thing where, what's that thing? I think it's from the show Community, where it's like, I can excuse racism and homophobia, but I draw the line at animal cruelty. It's like, you can excuse an obese bulldog with a lazy eye, but you can't excuse a woman who's a size 12. Hello? Or you can't excuse, like, a man with a receding hairline, right? We need to start bringing, puppy ideology to humans, I guess. That really doesn't make any sense. I really, the main thing here is that I think we just need to be nicer to each other. Okay, I'm like, should we like switch to something salty? Okay, I'm gonna try these. I'm a little scared because I feel like this could either make my whole entire life or ruin it for the next hour. So let's see. Soul Chili Lime Tteokbokki Snack. Okay, smell test first. Okay. It's a bit Go Girl Give Us Nothing. Why? It smells like styrofoam. Not sponsored, clearly. All right, before I try it, let me go on to a new talking point. Oh, okay. Really long books totally have merit, but at the same time, I don't really feel like carrying around a cinder block, right? For example, I once saw this guy on the train who he was reading this book. I don't know what it was. I'm not joking. This long. It was literally like, are you just walking around with an encyclopedia about like the entire history of the world, including like the dinosaur age? Okay, guys, I'm a little scared. Boner ate the tip. Whatever. I like it. Life made. It's a little, it's kind of like sweet in a way. Oh my god, and it has a little bit of a kick. Oh. Wow, yeah. It's got a little bit of a kick. It's kind of making my tongue tingle a little bit. Anyway. But yeah, I feel like if your book is able to, like, I don't know, replace a cinder block in the foundation of a building, honestly, good for you. Good for you for having so much to say. Because if I had a book and they were like, you have a 2,000 page quota, I'd be like, shit, you know, it's about to be, you know, me saying, oh, the feeling of the grass between my toes was absolutely splendid, wonderful, amazing, grazie, lovely. For every single word in the book, I would Google the synonym and list all of them. Oh my God, guys, these snacks are seriously rocking my freaking world right now. Okay, let me see. I'm gonna go to some of the more recent ones that I've written. Let's see. One of the last things that I wrote, Rachel Sennett's I Love LA. There is this particular scene that has lived in my mind ever since I saw it, right? First of all, her and I went to the same acting studio. So, hi twin. She literally changed the trajectory of my life with this scene. There's a scene in I Love LA where the gay guy character is having sex with another man, as gay men do, and as they should, right? And the one guy orgasms. He finishes. And then they both go, that part.
That part.
The concept of having S with someone, orgasming, and then going, that part. I could not even, it's so funny to me, but when I watched that scene, I couldn't even laugh because I was just like, tectonic plates were shifting within me. It literally gave my brain a midline shift and I almost had to go to the hospital. And then I was talking with my girlfriend and I was like, what if the next time that we're physically intimate and I finish, I go, gag. Or I went, okay, serve. Listen, if I'm getting close and I say motherquake incoming, that's not my fault. That's Rachel Sennett's fault. Or I guess actually technically EJ Marcus, because I think EJ Marcus was the person to write that episode, but I get whoever, Rachel, EJ, that part. But I'm wondering, I know I have, I know I have a gay male audience. Gay male audience, feel free to chime in. Is that real? Is that? But anyways, there was one time that me and my girlfriend, I was crying laughing because I was just thinking about, hang on, I wrote it down. I'm gonna actually find it so that way I don't misquote myself. Fast and greasy. The fact that I have to, that's what I have to type in. Let me see. Hello, where's Fast and Greasy? Why did Tovelo say in that song about sex, I like it fast and greasy? Like, girl, that is so gross. And I could not stop thinking about the fact that she said that, and it was making me laugh so hard that later that night, when me and my girlfriend were trying to be intimate, I couldn't lock in. I couldn't lock in because I would keep laughing thinking about how Tovlo said in her song, talking bodies, right? Speaking cuerpo, that she said that I like it fast and greasy. Everyone has their own preferences. That's totally fine. And hey, yeah, so what? She likes it fast and greasy. But then, I guess, I'm just like, okay, so you essentially like your sex in the way that you like, I don't know, Burger King? Oh, wait, actually, first of all, okay, the line is from Stay High. And I gotta stay high. Oh. Wait, now I'm starting to think that she likes it fast and greasy because I think she's going through a hard time. So I won't make fun of you. And I wasn't trying to make fun of you in the first place. I think it's a funny thing to just kind of say out loud, yeah, I like my sex to be fast and I like it to be kind of oily as well. And something tells me it's not necessarily in the, I don't know, like erotic, sensual sort of like massage oils way. just because of the subject matter of the song, it's giving me more of a I haven't showered in 4 days sort of way, and I also lost my face wash for the past month. But yeah, I basically couldn't stop laughing yes, because the line is, I make it fast and greasy, I'm numb and way too easy. Wait, okay, that's actually sad. I apologize, that's sad, but I'm not gonna edit out what I just said because I'm trying to be better about just sort of accepting that sometimes I'm wrong and it's okay. Okay. Huh. It's like, it smells pretty good, but it smells good in the way that cough syrup smells a little bit good so that the child will actually take it. You know what I mean? But let's see. I like it, yeah. It's good. It's kind of, has like a sour gummy worm sort of feeling to it. I like it, I like it. This one says, there could be an apocalypse that kills humanity and somehow the Apple store would still be crowded. It is insane how, I feel like there's certain places where if you work there, you need to be a people person, at least a little bit, because you are about to be swimming in a sea of limbs for the entirety of your shift, right? The places that I have in mind right now, the Apple Store and Haiti. Everyone knows the Apple Store, but if you don't know Haiti, it is basically a handcrafted artisanal tea chain, right? And it's essentially where you go to be initiated into being Chinese, right? And that makes it really, really crowded. I've never been to a Haiti where things are just empty, right? Same goes for the Apple Store. I feel like it'll be 2 p.m. on a Tuesday and the Apple Store is still filled to the brim. I'm like, isn't everyone supposed to be at work? I know I'm not at work, technically. As a YouTuber, in a certain way, I'm kind of always on the clock because my mind always has to be running thinking about ideas. And it is jarring to me, but then I remember that Americans, what they love more than guns is an Apple product. I feel like Apple, you know, we're always talking about things how, oh, they keep screwing us over because they'll make the whole different, so now we need to get a whole different type of charger, or you know, the products just don't last that long. We're kind of Americans are in a toxic relationship, push and pull relationship with Apple products. So then when I look at how the Apple Store is crowded during every single part of the day, I'm like, right, because everyone and their mother, father, second cousin, and guinea pig has a freaking iPhone. Going back to Haiti, right? When I walk into a Haiti and I see a lot of the times they have like a TV screen and it has all the numbers listed of all the different orders. I'm like, there's so many numbers here. This looks like the nuclear codes to something. There was a time that I saw so many people there waiting for their order to be picked up, and I just left because it's not even that I didn't want to wait, because I was willing to wait. I literally just felt bad for them. I felt bad for them, and I didn't want to put another little pea on the plate because who knows if it would have been someone's last straw. You know what I mean? They are truly heroes. They are heroes on the front lines of the coconut mango boom. All right, I'm gonna try these. I think I'll like these. I really like, thank God that I'm not allergic to hazelnuts. Oh, if your significant other found out that they had a clone and they wanted to have sex with the clone, is that cheating? So I think it's interesting because it's like, so technically they're not having relations with another person because it's their clone. So, but then again, their clone is still a distinct, separate being from them. And I guess, are they a clone in the way that they literally think the same and they literally, you know, like have similar personality traits and things like that? Or is it more of like an identical twin situation where it's like, okay, just because we look alike doesn't mean that we aren't separate beings, and now it just feels incestual. These are yummy. They're kind of light. They feel like something that would be had with a tea and milk, something like that. But I don't know. I feel like if I was with someone and they had a clone and they wanted to have sex with their clone, I would literally be like, yeah, like, as long as I can be involved, then that would literally be kind of great. I would kiss my clone. I'd kiss my clone, and I'd also kind of want to fight it. Like, I'd want to, test its, in the sense that the clone is literally just like a copy and paste replica of myself. I think I'd want to fight it, and just like, we could try and just like beat each other up, maybe? Or maybe we could just go to a restaurant too. Here's a question. Yes, comment down below if your partner were to make out and, also the other things on the other side of the rainbow with that, right? If they were to do those things with their clone, would you consider it cheating? Or would you also maybe consider it like a scientific breakthrough of sorts? The idea of a miniskirt is so fun until you have to move. If I drop something, it's just gotta stay down there, right? I think that I wouldn't mind wearing a miniskirt if I also had those leggings underneath where it's like flesh-colored leggings, but if I bend down, it's, it just kind of looks like Barbie, where it's a whole bunch of, nothingness land, then I would be able to do that. But sometimes wearing a miniskirt, I know that it's a popular style to wear your miniskirt where like your butt's kind of hanging out of it. I don't think I have the equipment to really make that a look, you know what I mean? And I feel like if I'm wearing a miniskirt and if I have to not only bend down, but like go upstairs or like sit down even, sitting down in a miniskirt and you don't have anything under you're asking for something bacterial to happen. You know what I mean? Especially when you live in a city, if you sit down in a miniskirt and you're only wearing like your underwear or a thong or something, and you sit on that bus seat, you're going to invent a new type of yeast infection that gynecologists are going to have to pour millions of dollars of funding into. I think if I ever wore a miniskirt, maybe I would wear a miniskirt if I could also wear like a medieval hoop skirt under it. Or jeans or something. Just found out that the show Grand Army is about teenagers in Park Slope, Brooklyn, and not the military. Guys, I don't watch like a ton of TV. Tell me why, because I was watching I Love Rachel, I Love LA, and one of the actors from that show is apparently in this Grand Army show. And in my head, I was thinking, oh my gosh, what like a cool like switch up, like such a range, like you were playing like, someone who was in the army before, and now you're playing like this like, oh, rich influencer girl, that's so cool. And then, someone was like, what? And I was like, yeah, like the show, like Grand Army, like they're in the army, no? And they were like, no, that show is about like high schoolers in Brooklyn, like Park Slope, like Grand Army Plaza. And I was like, oh my God. I can't even call it like a Mandela effect because I don't know how common it is to think what I thought. But yeah, so I guess if you've never heard of the show Grand Army before, it's this show on Netflix that was quite popular and, gonna put it out there now, not about the army. And it's interesting because I really just assumed that solely from the name. I have never seen a trailer. I've never seen any clips from it as far as concerned, any audios from it. I really just assumed that solely from the name. But then there's other shows where like I hear the name and I don't automatically think that the content of the show has to do with the name. Like, for example, The Sopranos. I'm not thinking in my head, oh, a show called The Sopranos, that must mean that it's about a women's choir, right? I don't know why I thought Grand Army was really just about the army, but I have to grant myself grace and forgive myself If I fart underwater, it's not disgusting. It's echolocation. And with that, I want to try the soda and the ice cream bar. Okay, let's try the ice cream bar first. It's a matcha milk bar. So let's see. I like the packaging a lot. It's really pretty. But yeah, sometimes when I think about echolocation, I'm like, animals really are amazing, aren't they? And maybe I'm misunderstanding. Humans can do echolocation in a way, right? I'm gonna say something uneducated and then I will Google to see if I'm correct or wrong. But okay, in my head, echolocation is when whales and dolphins kind of go like, they're kind of like the girl in Hereditary who, you know, she had that habit before she got like decapitated, right? So basically, underwater animals love Toni Collette, and they are taking after the daughter in Hereditary and going underwater, and then they're able to sense from their sound waves coming out of their mouth how far away something is, right? And then humans, it's really not the same thing at all. I was gonna say, and then humans use echolocation. It's not echolocation, it's just screaming and then like, yeah, forget it. Humans can't do echolocation. But I think it's amazing that dolphins can, or whales and stuff. Okay. I really like this. This is really good. Wait, should I bite it in the mic? Or will that be disgusting? We'll see. If it's disgusting, I'll mute it. Was that disgusting? Was that disgusting or was it nice? Comment down below. But you know what sucks? I'm like, the whales in SeaWorld, they probably don't even have to use echolocation because their tank is so small. It's like, what, they just go like this? And then the only thing that it will be able to echolocate is the other side of the tank. That's what, 20 feet away? But wouldn't that be awesome if humans could echolocate during farts or using farts? And I wish humans could echolocate using farts, not underwater and just kind of like out in the world. I think that would make farting in public a lot more acceptable, because then when you fart in public, it's not like if you're in a restaurant, you lean over and you fart, the other people at the table aren't going to be like, ew, that's disgusting table manners. It's just like, I was just trying to find the bathroom. You know what I mean? Or I was just trying to see how far away our waiter is. I was trying to echolocate. I think that would be pretty cool. It would probably make the world smell worse though. Anyways, there is the humble panty line, and then there is the granny panty line, where you see the lines, but there is also something a bit rumpled in there as well. So that's interesting. That's really interesting. And I believe I've talked about this in one of my first ever yapping videos, the yapping video where I talk about how I think people who go caving are out of their mind, where I talk about how panty lines are somehow considered a not classy thing. I still don't understand why panty lines are considered uncouth. Shouldn't you be happy that I'm wearing underwear, you know? However, what I will say is that sometimes when you're wearing like period underwear or granny panties where the fabric is sort of fitting you in the way that like the flag fits on a flagpole, you know, it's kind of waving everywhere. It's a bit loose, right? Sometimes wearing underwear like that, and then you put on tight pants, yeah, your entire butt is about to look like a wrinkled CVS wrapper that you find at the bottom of your purse. I also think that granny panties are like just like underwear that doesn't fit you right, in the sense that it's too big, or actually in the sense that it's too small as well. It will give you the most uncomfortable wedgie, and it's the sort of thing that because there's so much loose fabric, if you pick it at the wrong spot, it's like that didn't even do anything for me. You know what I mean? I just moved around some loose fabric. And this might not be a problem for a lot of you, because I've come to realize that I need new underwear. I need new underwear. I'm the type of person where, and this goes for outside of clothes too, I tend to use things until they are ran into the ground. Yes, some of my socks Hey, not the socks I'm wearing today though. A lot of my socks, and yes, some of my underwear, they do have holes in it, right? But they have holes, they don't have holes in it in the places that matter. You know, they have holes in it like on like the elastic band part, or like my socks have holes on it. I won't lie. The socks in my holes are the, whoa. There are no socks in my holes. I just scared myself. The holes in my socks are in parts that are pretty important because the holes are created on the parts that have the most friction, right? So I kind of do have holes in my socks. I just had to make sure that I said it right that time. I kind of do have holes in my socks that are making, you know, it's the reason why I have calluses on my foot, I think. Moral of the story, try and get underwear that fits you. Keep some bad underwear for when your period comes, but just know that eventually the whole drawer is about to be period underwear, honey. All right, I'm gonna go farther up the list, see what we land on. Oh, okay. When people win awards and they're like, I didn't even prepare a speech because I didn't think I was gonna win, are so funny to me. I would rather be prepared and lose than win and be completely ill-prepared. I think this is funny because it's a way for celebrities to try and showcase their humbleness. You know, oh my gosh, I didn't even prepare anything because I thought there was no way on this God's green earth or devil's hot hell that I would ever be able to win. And here's something about me, right? Even if I knew I wasn't going to win, I'm preparing a speech, or at least some semblance of a speech, for my own peace of mind. And I think it is a little bit like, dang, we awarded you for this grand, you know, accolade, and then you don't even put in the effort to, like, I don't know, prepare something or something like that. I don't know. But if I win an Oscar, right, and I wasn't expecting to win it, obviously, right, and I wasn't expecting to win it, and I went up there and I literally had nothing prepared, zilch. I cannot even believe, like, I think I would have a panic attack. I think that there would be so many people that I would forget to thank. There would be, like, I would go on some sort, it would be like a yapping video. I would go up on the Academy Awards at the Dolby Theater. I would go up there and people are gonna be like, why is this woman talking about the fact that she has holes in her underwear? I'm not gonna know what to say, and I'm just gonna start, you know, trying to juggle shit or doing jumping jacks or a somersault because I'm just like, I don't know. All right, here's something I wrote that I don't necessarily agree with. Bosses love to say, all right, look alive, people. I feel like that only applies to a certain boss, right? I think for bosses where maybe they are a director of some sort, or they are running like a very busy office. Like I could see for like in Devil Wears Prada, for the, I don't know, like assistant before Miranda Priestley comes in, that's Meryl Streep. From Meryl Streep comes in, that person being like, all right, look alive, people. That makes sense to me. However, in other workplaces, I could have never imagined one of my nurse managers walking onto the unit and saying, all right, look alive, people. First of all, because it's a little insensitive because people are dying. I think that this is something that can be said much easier in like a scripted TV show and it will flow nicely. However, in real life, also, especially if you have a lot of young people working who literally hate their lives, because Gen Z is, after all, the, you know, fuck that job generation. If you walk into a place where everyone is kind of at their wit's end and you say, all right, look alive, people, I feel like a third of that room is going to say or be thinking to themselves, look alive. You're lucky I didn't kill myself this morning. So I don't know. I think it's a great way to attempt at boosting morale. Would it actually boost morale? Who's to say? Let's pick something else, yeah? Okay. So my finger landed in between two entries. Neither of them make sense to me. The first one says, talk about drones in New Jersey. I guess there were drones in New Jersey at one point, and I thought that I should have been speaking out about it. I'm gonna erase that because I don't know what that's in reference to. And then this other thing that I said just says, fuck my lesbian life. I guess I was going through a hard time. But no, I know what it is. It's not because I was going through a hard time. It's because I say it a lot. That's why. There's whenever something happens between me and my girlfriend, not in a bad way, not interpersonally between me and her, but like say if we are cooking dinner and I accidentally burn something, trust, not beyond me to do, then I'll say like, oh my God, fuck my lesbian life. It's a great interjection that you can use, and it's a great thing. You can replace the lesbian part with anything if you aren't personally a lesbian. If you're gay, you can say fuck my homosexual life. Okay, here's something I wrote. I was watching sorry guys, because I'm kind of talking with my mouth full. I'm sorry if I'm being kind of gross. I was watching a TikTok about a girl's traumatic experience with alien abduction, and someone commented, "Girl, you're so pretty and your hair is perfect for you," which is honestly something I would love to hear because the aliens didn't even notice. I think that this is really interesting. It's really interesting when someone could be talking about one of the darkest times in their life, and then someone will comment, "I love your nail polish," right? And I can't tell because it's like, yes, time and place, but sometimes who's to say that that isn't the place in a way? I mean, I get it. I definitely do understand that it might be considered inappropriate, but at the same time, if I am, recounting something that really troubled me deep to my core, a compliment might help. A compliment might help, to be honest. That's honestly advice that I give to every single working therapist ever. If your client is talking about one of the scariest, darkest things to ever happen to them, interrupt them and just say, I love what you did with your eyebrows today. If you're at a funeral, family member is giving the eulogy, stand up and say, yeah, Dave, yeah, rest in peace, all of that. But also, Cheryl, that dress. Hey, mama. Okay, sorry, guys. I need to eat this fast because it's seriously melting. I just have to use the resources that I have near me, which is an empty bucket of cottage cheese. It's not mine. Must be my roommate's. This is reminding me of Wicked. Because of something green melting, right? Alphaba. Anyways, sorry, my hands are kind of busy right now, so I looked at my phone to memorize something that I, of course, after memorizing lines so fast, memorize something that was on my phone. I overheard a commercial of Extreme Makeover Home Edition, and one of the guys said, we need to make this house in under 96 hours. And I know that they were trying to use that as some sort of, hook or clip to get audiences to be interested. However, as the recipient of that house, I don't want a house that's made in under 96 hours. Huh? If you're giving me a house that was made in under 96 hours, it's giving me the same vibe as the billionaires who went into that submarine to visit the Titanic, where it's kind of like, you know that this was kind of just all slapped together, right? Might be a little bit dangerous to be inside because, wow. Now I'm really thinking about the submarine thing. That was crazy. That was so crazy. Because really, in the same vein of the home makeover under 96 hours thing, first of all, also, maybe what they meant to say was we need to remodel this house in under 96 hours, meaning just buy new furniture and stuff. That is acceptable. But in terms of making something from scratch, it's like, it's okay if it takes a little bit longer. I'd rather have my patience tested than my lifespan. Okay, I want to try the soda, but I think I need to rest for a little bit because I just ate so much junk. I've literally just been eating junk for the past hour and a half. However, I will have one more tteokbokki chip. Oh, wait. Something I wrote in regards to the Extreme Makeover Home Edition was, one wrong step and the whole thing crumbles like the cookie y'all speak of. Oh my God, I'm so funny sometimes. Anyways, something else that I wrote down, if someone ever catches you lying, just say, that was improv. Yep, if you're ever being interrogated by the police and you don't want to, you don't have an alibi, but you want to make one up, but then they caught that you were in a lie, right? All you really need to say is, hey, that was improv. Or, say that you get caught cheating and your girlfriend says, what is this? What the fuck is this? You say, that other woman is my improv partner, and the scene that we were doing was adultery. But that doesn't mean that I don't love you, and it doesn't mean that we were actually doing it. It's all simply a performance. It's the theater, babe. It's just the world of showbiz. It's acting. Don't you know? Have you ever heard of acting? And then your girlfriend is like, what the fuck are you talking about? You literally work in finance. That picture of Albert Einstein sticking his tongue out is so, let's do a silly one, core. Yeah, I do wonder the context of that photo. Because I feel like back then, in so many old-timey photos, perhaps it's just like the ones that are put into textbooks and stuff like that, all of the pictures are very much so like this. They almost look like they're being held at gunpoint. And I don't blame them for looking super serious, because at a certain point it's like, shit is not funny. There's actually a plague going on. But then you think about COVID, and people were definitely smiling during COVID. People were making the most unhinged, silly Billy TikToks one could ever imagine during COVID, and millions of people were dying. So I don't know, people probably were silly back then. But because you know what it is? When people were getting their photos taken and getting like portraits done and stuff, it's much easier to just have a resting face for multiple hours instead of, I don't know if anyone who got their portrait painted, if the painter was ever like, okay, now let's do a silly one, and you make a funny face and stand there for another 4 hours, and then we also have to do that every day for the next 3 months. It's like, how long can I really sit here going, bye? See, like, it's already getting uncomfortable for me. Oh, okay. There were only a few times in high school where I thought maybe I had crushes on boys because of comp het. One of these times, there was a boy who worked at Chipotle, and when I came in, he smiled and gave me extra steak. And in that moment, I thought to myself, this is a high-value man. This is so distinct. Shit, Jake, if you're watching this, when you scooped me more steak, I was literally like, so this is love. It obviously wasn't. And I didn't actually think that. It was just more one of those things. How do I describe this? I feel like sometimes in high school, I would draw, in middle school as well, I would draw logical conclusions to decipher who I should have a crush on. Does that make sense? For example, this boy was pretty smart, had straight teeth, nice hair for the time period, right? It was very Justin Bieber swooshy. And he gave me extra steak. These are all good things. That means maybe I should like him. It was kind of like that. And there was another time where whenever people would ask me who I liked, I would sort of just be like, well, I guess Jake, a different Jake. Were too many Jakes in my high school, but I was like, oh, I guess Jake, because he's like the popular one, right? It was very sort of like that, but I do distinctly remember that. And honestly, outside of Jake, right? Outside of all the Jakes, when I go to Chipotle and the worker there, male, female, non-binary, whatever, scoops me, like gives me a Chipotle bowl that feels like a what's it called? Like a baby who was cooked in the womb like a little bit too long. And there's like a tangible weight to it, and it's practically busting out of the tinfoil lid. That feels like an act of eroticism to me. That feels like you want me. And of course, I always appreciate it and put in an extra tip, which is a sexual favor. Oh my God, wait, okay, I'm gonna end on this one because it's a funny visual. Imagine watching a horror movie on a plane and you audibly scream. Imagine being on an international flight and while everyone is asleep, you just hear, "Don't open that door!" right? Which, hey, could be applicable to a plane as well. You don't want to open that door. Definitely not. And then when everyone around you wakes up, you can recover by saying, oh, that has actually nothing to do with the movie I was watching. I just wanted to let you guys know not to open the door. But okay, it's the end of the video. And let's see, some of the things I didn't try, but guys, I'm starting to not feel well, I think. So I don't want to push it. Should I try the soda? No. I'll let you guys know if it's good in the comments. How about that? The secret code for today's video, I'm gonna just return back to the classics, right? It's just gonna be a phrase. Sour purple straw. Sour purple straw is the secret code for today's video. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I kind of didn't feel that funny today. I don't know. Something interesting about taping these videos is that you guys have no idea like how many failed yapping videos there's been. Because a lot of the times I just turn on the camera and then I think to myself, this isn't funny. I look at the viewfinder and I say, you're not funny, you're not entertaining, no one would like this. And then I shut off the camera, right? Maybe I'm just feeling a little bit more down about myself because of like the seasonal depression of it all. First of all, mind you, right? It's 4:30 and the sun is practically gone. So that's kind of telling you a little bit about my mindset, right? But yeah, hopefully there'll be more yapping videos soon. I know that, the people who watch them really do like them, which obviously I'm very happy about. But yes, thank you guys for watching. I hope that you found at least some of it funny, and until next time.